Shabbat Shalom Nurusi, it's Nomi. I'm back for the first time in the longest time. I'm so happy to be here. The past few weeks have been kind of hectic, but I am fully back, and I apologize for the birds. I still can't find my camera charger, and as a result, I clicked on the effects button on iMovie, and now they won't go away. Okay, so this week's Torah portion is Acharei Mot, which means after the death, because last week's Torah portion concluded with the death of Aaron's sons. In this week's Torah portion, we learn a little bit about scapegoats. This phrase actually comes from the idea of the literal scapegoat that we have in this week's Torah portion, and the literal scapegoat is a goat which is given all of Bnei Yisrael's sins and then casted off to a place called Azazel, or like a demon named Azazel, and we get rid of all of our sins that way. And that's why we read excerpts of this week's Torah portion during Yom Kippur. So that's all really cool. But I want to focus on a different element of this week's Torah portion. We get this line which tells us not to give our kids over to Moloch. So that sounds pretty cool. Moloch sounds like it comes from Melech, which is a king, so you shouldn't give your kids over to a king. That would make a lot of sense, because if a king comes over to you and is like, hey, give me your kids, you don't have to, because you have legal proof that says you don't have to. So that's all really fun. But Molech sounds different than Melech, because the vowels are slightly different, so they're not really interchangeable. So I decided to look up Molech and see why Molech was different from Melech. Oh my god, double the words. This is a concordatia, a concordance. And the way a concordance works, these birds are very distracting, is that every single word that's written in the Torah, in whatever form it's written, as in like different tense or whatever, is found in a concordance. And so that means that when you want to look up a particular word and you want to see if it comes up somewhere else, you can look in one of these cool things. So I looked up Molech, and I just lost the page, and it comes indeed from the same root as Melech, but like I thought, it's not interchangeable. Molech was a Melech, so Molech was indeed a king, but he's a very particular king, and he seemed to have some sort of weird fetish for children, and he kind of wanted you to give him your kids. So luckily God picked up on the fact that Molech was kind of disturbed, and so he said that we shouldn't give over our children to Moloch. So let's get rid of this concordance for now. So if you remember, at the beginning of my description, I talked about how we had this demon Azazel, this demon place called Azazel, where we sent our scapegoat, and at the same time we have Molech, who is an evil ruler who we're not supposed to send our kids over to. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think we really have any demons in our day-to-day lives. But what we do have are villainous characters, or places where we don't feel comfortable going. And it's really our place to separate ourselves from the demons in our lives and say, okay, they're here, I see them, but I'm not going to let them get to me, because we're stronger than that. We're US Wires. So, Shabbat Shalom Nurusi. I will see you guys hopefully next week, Passover permitting. Good luck with your Pesach cleaning, and enjoy your matzah. Bye! Shabbat Shalom! And last thing, please sign up for Spring Convention. We just extended the deadline to April 25th. You should all be there. It's going to be incredible.